हेलो फ्रेंड्स। तो उम्मीद करता हूँ फ्रेंड्स आप सब खैरियत से होंगे। तो आज की इस वीडियो में मैं आपको पाइथन लैंग्वेज के बारे में बताऊंगा। तो पाइथन लैंग्वेज क्या है? तो आज की इस वीडियो में हम देखेंगे पाइथन फॉर बिगनर्स। वेलकम, आर यू कम्प्लीटली न्यू टू प्रोग्रामिंग? इफ नोट देन वी प्रिज्यूम यू विल बी लुकिंग फॉर इंफॉर्मेशन। ठीक है। तो फ्रेंड्स, इंफॉर्मेशन मीन्स इफ Python. Fortunately, an experienced programmer in any programming language, whatever it may be, can pick up Python very quickly. It is also easy for beginners to use and learn, so jump in. सो फ्रेंड्स, ये पाइथन लैंग्वेज ठीक है, किस लिए यूज़ की जाती है, कैसे इंस्टॉल होती है, लर्निंग प्रोसेस क्या है, तो आज की इस वीडियो में ये सब कुछ देखेंगे। तो इंस्टॉलिंग देखते हैं। इंस्टॉलिंग पाइथन इज जनरली इजी एंड नाउ डेज मैनी लिनक्स एंड यूनिक्स डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन इंक्लूड अ रिसेंट पाइथन। Even some Windows computers, notably those from HP, now come with Python already installed. If you do need to install Python and are not confident about the task, you can find a new few notes. The beginner guide download wiki page, but installation is unremarkable on most platforms. Learning. Before getting started, you may want to find out which IDEs and text editors are tailored to make Python editing easy. Browse the list of introductory books or look at code samples that you might find helpful. There is a list of tutorials suitable for experienced programmers on the beginner's guide tutorials page. There is also a list of resources in other languages which might be useful if English is not your first language. The outline documentation is our first port of call for definition information. There is a fairly briefly tutorial that gives you basic information about the language and gets you started. You can follow this by looking at the library reference for a full description of Python. Many libraries and the languages reference of Python syntax. If you are looking for common Python recipes and patterns, you can browse the Active State Python Cookbook. Looking for something specific. If you want to know whether a particular application or a library with a particular functionality is available in Python, there are a number of possible sources of information. The Python website provides a Python package index, also known as the cheese shop, a reference to the Monty Python script of that name. There is also a search page for a before a sources of Python related information. Following that, just Google for a Ferris, including the word Python, and you may well get the result you need. If all else fails, ask the Python news groups, and there is good chance someone will put you on the right track. Frequently asked question. If you have a question, it is good idea to try the FAQ, which answers the most commonly asked questions and Python. Looking to help. If you want to help to develop Python, take a look at the developer area for further information. Please note that you do not have to be an expert programmer to help. The documentation is just as important as the compiler and still needs plenty of work. Tweets from the PSF, nothing to see here yet. Views the PSF, the Python Software Foundation, is the originally organization behind Python. Become a member of the PSF and help advance the software and our mission. Python. Python for non-programmers. If you never programmed before, the tutorials on this page are recommended for you. They do not assume that you have previous experience. If you have programming experience, also check out the beginner's guide programs books. Each of these books can be purchased online, but is also available as free textual website or video content. Automate the boring stuff with Python. Practical programming for total beginners by AI Swag is written for office workers, students, administrators, and anyone who use a computer to learn how to code small programs to automate tasks on their computer. How to Think Like a Computer Scientist is a classic open source book by Alan Downey with contributions from Jeffrey L. Canary and Chris Myers. It was updated to Python 3 by Peter Wentworth. Making Games with Python and Pygames by AI Swagger introduced the Pygame framework for novices and intermediate programmers to make graphical games. तो फ्रेंड्स आज की इस वीडियो में